Hello lovely people, welcome to another interesting tutorial. Today's tutorial is on how to cut and sew pencil skirts. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell. I've got the materials, the fabric ready and the tools ready. Let's start with the front piece. I have copied it onto a new paper. Check out the tutorial on basic skirt pattern to get more understanding. So guys, from the basic pattern, it hasn't been curved to form a pencil skirt, and that's exactly what we are going to do in this tutorial alongside other finishing. And now there's gonna be an update from the basic to advanced level. Let's start with the hip. Before now, we divided the hip by 4, but this time we are going to separately take the measurement for the front and the back. That's because the front hip is flat while the back hip is curvy. So go ahead and measure your front hip, and from that we are going to deduce the back hip, and then we proceed. Using this example, if your total hip circumference is 50 inches, to get the back it's gonna be 50 minus front hip. Say your front hip was 24, that's gonna be 50 minus 24, so 26 inches would be your back hip. That proves to us that the back hip is different from the front. Let's proceed. Still on the front pattern, whatever measurement you've got for your front, divide it by 2 and go ahead to place it on the hip line. I'm going to place mine and then we'll proceed to the dart. Note that the dart is optional. You don't always need to use it if you don't want it. So I'll be showing you how to remove a dart. To remove that, fold in the dart on the pattern paper. Or reduce your waist measurement by the width of the dart. If you want a dart, just leave it, and I will also show you how to add a dart before the end of the tutorial. I'm going ahead to reduce my measurement by 1 inch, which was for the dart. Go ahead and join the new marks, and then we'll proceed. To make it pencil, at the hem. I'm going to use the hip measurement and then subtract 1 inch. You can use 1 to 2 inches depending on how pencil or curvy you want your skirt to be. Connect from the hip line to the hemline. You can use your hip curve or a straight ruler. I would just smoothen the hip area and then extend my line at the waist area. Did you notice a new line in between the hemline and the hip line? That is where I want my pleat to start at the back. Go ahead and cut it out. This will result to a new pencil skirt pattern I could use anytime I want a pencil skirt. I'm using 2.5 Ankara fabric and lining. I ended up using 1.5 inch. Now go ahead and place the pattern on your fabric. I will be adding 2 inches allowance, which includes everything, all the allowances by the side. I'm going to go ahead and connect it and then cut it out. And now to the back, I've added 8 inches extra. I'm marking 8 inches. You must have used the pattern as a template so you don't waste fabric. I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line measuring the 8 inches downward. I just notched the mark. I'm going to place my pattern, which would serve as a template. I'm going ahead to notch the important parts because it needs to match when sewing them together. Once done, cut it out. So for the back, I left it without slanting it as our previous pattern was, because I wouldn't be using a high waistband. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to proceed to working on the zip area and the back pleat. Also remember to transfer the notch to the back part I'm going to draw a straight line on where I want my back pleat to start. It's about 19 inches. Yours could be different. I'm also going to trace out the hip line. Back to the calculation we made earlier on. Whatever you've got when you subtracted the front hip from your total round hip measurement, go ahead and divide it by 2. First of all, remove the sewing allowance added to the front and then place your back hip measurement divided by 2. Whatever excess you've got, extend it to the back like I'm doing. I will quickly curve it so it's understandable when I will add my zip allowance. I want 1.5 inch for my zip allowance, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it all the way down to the back pleat line. I will just extend the back pleat line and then go ahead to connect the zip allowance. And then finally cut it out. Remember to mark your hemline where you want to fold in. So you will need to fold it in while cutting the lining. But if you're not using lining, the whole process is the same except without a lining. This is how to fold the hemline and cut. So this is for the front. Also fold in the back part and cut it out. And let's progress to the sewing in the next video.